Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to Church with Bo. Using some nice new backgrounds, as you can tell. We're on the river today. I'll try and move out the way a little bit so we can see this river. Uh, there we go. Look at that. That's white water. That's what we call white water, not white. White. Welcome back. Is the week of second week of June. It's been an eventful week. What have I been up to? Let's see, outside of the news first. I'm getting ready to get transferred at work to a different jewelry store where I'll be fixing and working on jewelry at a higher level. And, hopefully I can find a small little jewelry store, family-owned type thing to work for or after I get switched over there and actually start making some decent money and, building my own little station to work on jewelry from. I'm finishing up this album. It's been taking a lot longer than I expected, but got a whole week off of work coming up here, so it's gonna be time to crank it out, get the album done and uploaded as fast as possible. So hopefully by the next podcast, I can come on here and tell you guys the album is uploaded. We're just waiting for it to, drop on Spotify and everywhere else, but it'll be up on YouTube usually within a day or two. But yeah, besides that, I've been on stream with Cuddy Joe Music. He's been going for his affiliate on Twitch, and I've been helping mod the chat a little bit and getting him to play Warcraft and, keeping stream alive and fresh as much as I can, at least. And yeah, in the news in the last week, it's been pretty crazy. Elon and Trump had their little fight and their breakup. I just saw a minute ago, Trump said that he will not sell his Tesla or stop using Starlink at the White House, regardless, but they are upset at each other still, apparently. And just last night, Israel attacked Iran, allegedly preemptively, because they had some sort of knowledge that Iran is developing nuclear capabilities or something, I guess. I don't know. That's what it seemed like. They said something to do with Iran's developing nuclear capabilities. So that's why they attacked first. And then did a whole little speech about it, which is it's pretty messed up, I don't know. I don't know how people are going to justify it when it's like, yeah, we understand that, but you could do that internally. You could send, small squads of people to go and turn off the shit or something. I don't know. Do you have to blow it up and do all that, kill a bunch of scientists? It's a dirty game, If you're being purely defensive, you're being purely defensive. Because I just don't believe that anybody is going to use a nuke on anybody nowadays. Really, if they can get some sort of like super powerful megaton bomb, they'll do that before they even make it nuclear capable. Because everybody knows if you do anything with nukes in the world today, the nuclear treaty will basically have 50 plus nations sending all sorts of boats and planes and bombs your country's way for breaking the nuclear treaty. So that always just seems like a cop out to me when somebody says, oh, they're Do you know what they're do? You know what they could do with yellow cake? You know, eat it. But yeah, that was a pretty alarming thing to see in the news. I'm reminded of Joe Rogan saying, I think it was during COVID or when Russia and Ukraine started, that he like couldn't sleep some nights and he would just be freaking out that like we could be on the verge of a world war at any moment. This shit could drop. And that's kind of how I felt when I saw that Iran got attacked by Israel with no warning. Messed up. Oh yeah, seen a plane fell 787 Boeing, no relation, Dreamliner. 787 Dreamliner fell out of the sky apparently almost immediately after takeoff. Like it got up just high enough to probably murder everybody on the way down and not have any body of water or anything to land to save them. It was terrible. I think they said it was like 242 people on board and they landed in like the residence complex of I believe it was a medical school. Crazy. What's going on with these Boeing airplanes, guys? But the mechanics can't be trusted. It's almost like you need to find a military plane mechanic that hasn't actually worked for Boeing, but on Boeing's for a while, for a very long time. And that guy might have a good enough eye to tell you if your plane's going to fall out of the sky or not. Because I haven't seen, I mean, I haven't looked into exactly what happened to like what kind of engine failure, but I imagine it's probably something that might have been preventable, like a lot of these cases are, lack of maintenance or proper inspection, and something gets put on half-assedly, a screw doesn't get tightened all the way, and then next thing you know, it's been flying for 5 years. Yeah, that was another alarming story this week. In lighter news, my nephew has started reading, at least to himself. I went over the other day and he took me into the kitchen and was pulling out his books, and he had a book that was just a bunch of pictures and like words to the pictures. And one page was all cars. He was just pointing at all and looking at me, and he'd be like, he's not even two yet. He's 1.5, so he can't really form the words yet, but he kind of mumbles at you like, what is this one? And you can kind of pick out, what's this one? And that would be like, oh, that one says taxi. That's police car, fire truck, ambulance. And you just kept this one, what was this one again? Okay, I'm starting to pick some up here. Had a great time. And somebody like that, why why do we care? Why should he care about what's going on in abroad? You know, let's open up Reddit and see what we is seeing again. Top of the week. Judge Rule, let's speed run. Might go into some accents here too. Judge rules Trump illegally deployed National Guard and must return oversight to California. Oh, yep. The protest, that's what I forgot to mention too. The protests in California were going crazy all week. And they pretty much, I think they started going crazy first in like LA and that general area. I'm not sure if it hit San Diego too immediately, but by the end of the week, it's been like ICE protests in Atlanta and New York, and they've all broken out into riots. It's like protests going on all around America right now because ICE is on like some terror path, some war path, insanity currently, I guess. I don't know if I blame the protesters. I'm not really for the aggressive deportation of people. Maybe, if they're actually any sort of problem, if, they can't be put through some sort of process to where they can earn their citizenship and work consistently at a job and, maintain a good credit or something. I don't know. But I think there should be a way. And it got so wild and car burning that Trump, I guess, illegally deployed the National Guard, and I guess he legally deployed the Marines because I saw they had also deployed like 300 Marines as well. Crazy. Pray to the motherfucker Z. This I saw a minute ago. This is a beautiful thing to me. RFK Jr. removes all members of CDC panel advising US on vaccines. My brother, finally, we have been waiting because, it's like everybody now admits that the lab leak theory is what happened. It was leaked out of a lab, which seems like it was probably leaked intentionally. And, that part they just can't admit to yet. And since we found out that it's been a lab leak, everybody was lying. The vaccines actually make you like, they make it worse when you catch COVID, and they don't make you any less likely to catch it or spread it. And all these people, Fauci, the panels, just stayed the same and kept getting paychecks and, business as usual. Sorry. Yeah, we're admitting the truth. What the hell? I am glad the RFK or somebody on his team has a head on their shoulders to push some sort of issue on those people. Oh, I seen this as well earlier this week. LA police filmed shooting woman point blank with less lethal round. Let's see if we can get this clip up real quick. Oh, I don't know if this is the one I saw. The one I saw was like a news anchor and her cameraman filming her, and she was like right behind her was I think it was ICE with the shotguns with rubber bullets. And she's just reporting on it, like, oh my God, guys, this is getting crazy. It's been tense. And when you just see one of the guys just turn towards her and just back and cocked back and shot her with it. And she just, ah! Let's see, you guys can hear this. Oh, yeah, I think the clip I seen was just from her perspective. They're telling her to move. Watch, if they shoot her. All right. So we get the point. That seemed a little worse than the one I saw. The one I saw was a lady that was seemed to be a protest. And the protest wasn't even like getting wild or anything. It was like the middle of the day. And, the ICE guards were just like lined up and like keeping their guns up and stuff to, I guess, keep the protesters at bay. And this lady is like reporting in the middle of it, basically, down like this open space in between the ICE guys and the protesters. And she's like, da, 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 da. And one of the guys just turns and pops. I'm sorry for repeating. It was that wild. You gotta imagine it in your head because I'm not gonna look it up right this minute, but I'm sure you could find it if you care. Later, she can be heard saying, I live here. The woman who filmed the incident runs to the victim who is crying and helps her sit down before moving across the street as the officers continue to shout orders. They literally just shot her point blank. The Los Angeles Police Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Less than lethal, non-lethal, or less lethal munitions such as rubber, plastic, or sponge bullets and pepper balls are sometimes deployed in the U.S. by law enforcement during protests to disperse crowds. Despite the name, these munitions have caused serious injury and death in the past. That's why there's less than lethal instead of non-lethal anymore. During the current protests, law enforcement have fired flashbangs, tear gas, and rubber bullets, while other news outlets have also reported the use of pepper balls. Pepper balls. On Sunday, the Australian journalist Lauren Tomasi from Nine News was shot in the leg by rubber bullets while reporting live from the protest. That's the one I'm talking about. That's the one I'm talking about. Lauren Tomasi. All right. Sorry. Sorry. Where's her getting shot? Here we go.
You've seen the vision of Lauren Tomasi, my colleague and friend, who was shot while doing her job covering the situation in Los Angeles yesterday. If you get a chance to speak with
Oh my God, they teased us.
And what were your thoughts when you saw?
They teased us, gang. Here's the footage. Yeah, seriously, like, it just popped out.
Rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD using it on horseback.
See, I think it's that guy or that guy right there on the end. He just turns and man, pop. Oh no, it was the guy at the very end. He just wasn't having it. Just wasn't having it. You could see it on his face. He did not want to be on the news. He's why are they just filming us? Get that camera out of here. He was trying to give off that vibe. Maybe he, in his mind, he was radiating, go away, Australian lady. And she wasn't. I don't know. Seems a little abusive of power. Maybe that's just me, though. That's why I stay away. Stay out the way. Even when I was going to SF State in San Francisco, I had to ride BART all the time and, get in and around the city pretty often. I was not engaging with any of the protesters and all the little movements and stuff they were trying to do at school. Like, you guys need to appreciate that we're allowed to be here, that, all of this is cool. We've got security and we've got a nice, safe place to learn and do this, that, and we're not actively being like oppressed and repressed like we clearly could be, since it's happening in big countries, modern countries all around the world. So I don't know. I feel for the protesters and I'm happy for them. My heart's with them in a lot of ways and a lot of, protests, but it would take a lot or something very ridiculous and probably personal for me to go out there and start actively risking myself and my career and everything, life obviously first, but when you're out protesting, people catch you out there, your name goes down in some places. Let's just say your LinkedIn is not as popular anymore. Already let y'all know, explosions ring out across Iran's capital as Israel claims it is attacking the country. ICE agents this is crazy, mistakenly detained U.S. Marshal in Arizona. What do you mean? How do you mistakenly? What the hell? What the hell? See the comments. He fit the description of someone being sought after by ICE. Yeah, brown skin. I think we don't even need to read anything else. That probably perfectly sums up everything that happened in the video. It's, probably a Latino or a U.S. Marshal of some kind that is of a fair complexion, of a brown tone. And whoever detained him thought he looked like somebody who ICE was looking after, brown people. Crazy. The deputy U.S. Marshal's identity was quickly confirmed by other law enforcement officers, and he exited the building without incident. Yeah, Cap, it's Danny. Please send someone to come vouch for me and make sure they're white. True. True. Man, good thing they figured that out before they put him on a one-way flight to Transnistria or whatever. Bro, this is like the third time this week I've seen Transnistria brought up, and it is bombing me. I don't know what the hell. 99% of 99% of the humanity has no idea what the hell Transnistria is. You guys probably think it's some like weird LGBT plus shit. No. Transnistria, officially the Pridnestrovian Moldovan Republic, is a breakaway state in eastern Moldova. It's like right next to Romania. Moldova is like right next to Romania. I'll show you the map in a second. Recognized as part of Moldova by the international community, but with its own de facto government and control over its territory since the 1992 Transnistrian War. Transnistria is not recognized as an independent state by any UN member state, though it has been recognized by Abkhazia, Nagorno-Karabakh, and South Ossetia, which are also not recognized by anybody else. Essentially, it's like a Soviet state, really it's a Soviet city, straight out of like 1980 Russia. And it has like there's a little bridge over this river, the Dniester in Moldova, like top east corner Romania, basically. And the Dniester Bridge is like where it separates, and they have a little toll and like fence around that area, so cars can't you can't get around it, and you gotta like basically go through this toll, and you pay your dollar to get in or whatever, and you're in a old Soviet city. Everything is also ran by this company called the Sheriff. Sheriff FC is the football club. They beat Madrid City, I believe. Might have been Real Madrid, not Barcelona, but they beat them a few years ago in some cup. And the Yes Theory guys happen to be there and catch it if you want to see a crazy video. But yeah, it's a Russian city essentially locked right next to Moldova, and they fought for independence, and basically Moldova decided just keep them over there and don't let them expand anymore, and we won't have to get like the UN or the NATO governments involved and military to actually push them back. But I guess they were losing too many people to take the city back. And it's been some sort of, I guess, communist vassal state or something. I'm sure a lot of commies have like ran to there and taken random various trips through Transnistria to like ship shit out, or have some sort of money laundering operations going. Or if you're the president or dictator of some country, it's probably like favorable for you to have a bank account there, because if whatever, they lock all other bank accounts, you're still safe moving around there. I don't know. But it's a very interesting place, to me at least. I don't know why. I just get so into stuff like that, because it's like, it's a tiny de facto state, not recognized by anybody else. Somehow, though, they still run there's still people there and like parks and schools and children being born and whole lives happening within that area. And it's just amazing to me that I don't know. I love I love to learn about niche cultures and stuff like that. Like I think I have looked into South Ossetia. I thought it was like South Odessa or something like that though. But I'm big on the marginalized communities, I guess. I told you I'd show you. So let's see. So this is a super close-up zoom. There's Moldova, all right, big red, and there's Transnistria. They actually took up a lot of spots, and at the bottom right there, they have some like boats and stuff going on. That's why they needed that little bit of water. I think that's water. Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's the Dniester. So it's a river, I guess, but I thought it was like a little touch of the Black Sea. But now Russia owns that, I believe. Ukraine. So there's Odessa. It's crazy. And see, Romania's right here. That's what I mean. It's like top right Romania. Because I believe right underneath is still Romania. Everything like this whole coastline right here where the fish is, I'm pretty sure it goes up to here and it's still Romania. So I think that's like the delta right up there. And then this area is Crimea, if I'm not mistaken. Crazy, right? So close. Yes. Let me see if we can find some pictures of the town. There's their cool ass flag. They got a dope flag. But I don't. Communists always did have cool flags, grains, and plentiful sun and sea. Yes, the sea or the water is the river for them. Here, let's see, straight downtown. Like, see, it's pretty modern block style apartments and stuff. They probably upgrade all that shit and make it look nice every 20 or 50 years. Who knows? But yeah, see, it gets popping. They got big military parades and shows of power to the people. It's just fascinating. Soy fascinado. And I'm not some sort of a like communist propagandizer or sympathizer or whatever. I like I like Tuvalu, and the Isle of Nauru and all sorts of stuff like that and random niche communities of Guam and Polynesian and all sorts of Tahitian and Tristan da Cunha and Easter Island. But I got thrown down this rabbit hole that everyone is now having to ride out with me because I've seen Transnistria mentioned at least 2 other times, maybe only one other time, but still way too many for a week on Reddit, where somebody just randomly offhandedly, blah, 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 Transnistria, ha ha ha. It's like, bro, what the hell? How does anybody else even know about this? Like, I found out about this just studying up on Romania and stuff, and uh, I seen that, and I was like, what is this little patch of land here that's different? And why? Why are you different, God? God, it is me, your boy. Why are you different? Why must we be different? Why? Why? Yeah, I think we've seen enough. Just wanted to get everybody a nice picture of this. church and meadowed greenery of Romania. Romania could take this back if they wanted. They just don't want to. They're probably somehow profiting off whatever's being laundered through that area. Because I'm pretty sure all their weapons and stuff are still, communist age things. Put them on a one-way flight to Transnistria or whatever, huh? Let's see what the other comments say about Transnistria. What the hell? Oh, actually, I might go for that. I mean, it's not my place of choice, but it's damn fascinating. See? It's not just me. Gotta save face somehow. Well, Trump team set to destroy 12 million worth of HIV drugs and contraceptives that were bought before closing USAID. 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 The good sounding company that is real evil. Evil is his one and only name. Evil is his one and only name. Dr. Evil. This one's kind of surprising. World's most popular TikTok star, Kabilame, leaves the US after being detained by ICE. What the hell? How could they do Kabi like that? Honestly, I guess I'm not young enough. I have no idea who Kabi is. I might have seen some of his videos and just don't know it was him and that's who that was, but I'm not up to date on Kabi. So maybe they might have not been up to date on him either, and they might have been afraid that he was like part of that group of, people. I believe it was like African nationals who were coming in through the Mexican border, and they were just basically paying their way to the border and then getting cards and apartments and a court date 2-3 years out. I think they were on the Channel 5 YouTube video of them at the border interviewing people. There was a couple of people from Africa and like India and stuff. So I don't know. ICE might have just not known. And they might have even apologized, but he probably didn't like his treatment. And he's probably treated like a king back in his country. So why risk it? We're just gonna get out of there. And in the news, World of Warcraft is still promoting giant ads on Reddit. Senator Alex Padilla removed from NOEM, I thought it was NEOM, NOEM news conference. I don't know who Alex Padilla is, and I don't know what the NOEM news conference is, so we're not going to look into that. 9 women accuse Jared Leto of sexual impropriety in a new report. Well, giggity goo, huh? Let's see. Multiple women have accused Leto of impropriety, with some calling the 53-year-old actor and musician's behavior predatory, terrifying, unacceptable. In a new report by Airmail, 9 women have came forward to accuse Leto of engaging in inappropriate behavior over the years, including flirting with teenagers. Well, speaking to the outlet, one woman said that back in 2006, she was 16 years old. Leto approached her outside a cafe in Los Angeles. According to this woman, Leto, who was seated with the actor, Ashley Olsen, who was then 19, grabbed her arm. I looked down and it was Jared Leto. The woman told Airmail, adding, We had a quick conversation, and he got my number. She went on to say that Leto called her home a few days later, recalling, I don't know if he was on drugs or what. It was the weirdest, grossest voice. But for me, it's Jared. He went to Jared, you know, crazy. She said that Leto said he was hosting a party at his house that evening and that he invited her. The woman declined, telling the outlet, I didn't even have a driver's license. Nevertheless, she said Leto kept calling her, always at 1, 2, 3 a.m. Party time. Excellent. Wayne and God. Sick. Jared Leto. Don't party with kids. He asked how old I was. I said, I'm 16. How old are you, Grandpa? LaRue told Airmail. Leto, who was 36 at the time, proceeded to ask for her number. 20 years. The two began an email correspondence which eventually led to her visiting Leto's home in April 2009, the outlet reports. I remember him teasing me the whole time I was there. He was flirting, he'd lean in close, pull away like it was a game. It's just a game to him, huh? It's not a game. Leto himself has yet to comment on the allegations. And why would he? You know, I had a good one saved from the relation. This reminded me of the relationship gap Reddit that I had recently saved something from. Is there no way to check my saved saves? That's me, communication. Here. What the heck? What the heck? Create past. At what point would you stop? And the chicks are free. Boop, boop, beep. Boop, boop, beep. I cannot find where things I have bookmarked or saved on Reddit are being stored, my friend. You profile maybe, yes. Oh my God, saved. Thank you so much. There we go. Thank you for bearing with me, folks. Because here we go, 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 go. I'm doing the liquid hands, that's what we used to do in middle school. We used to listen to rave music and be like, whoa, it looks like a wave of water when I do this. Whoa, I haven't done it in a long time. I'm not great anymore, but I can kind of catch the bounce, 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 bounce. Our 43 age gap story. 43 year. I'm Emma, 21, and I'm married to Marco, 64, who's 43 years elder to me. And while that's not always been easy for others to understand, but for us is a relationship, a marriage, a family, 10-month-old, that goes far beyond age. Look at this dumb little bitch. Bop, Lottie, Dumbo, Wumbo. Did you turn it to Wumbo for Wumbology? Wumbang bang, Wumpung pung, Wumping pong, Wumping ding, Wumping dee 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 dee. Looks like she's about to kiss her grandpa. Hi, 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 baby, she looks like she's about to make out with her grandpa. She's a weird Italian, and so is he. Oh my God, how did he get her pregnant? Ooh wee. Ooh, ooh, wee, wee, ooh, 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 wee. How gross is he? How gross can you be with your feet, with your child of a 64-year-old man imagination? You are weird. Oh my God. It defies explanation. No, this is a crazy story. So I saw this the other day, yesterday, I think, and I read this whole mountain of text. It is insane. You guys can read through it if you want. But essentially, she's known this man for a long time, she says. Then she like fell in love with him when she was like 18 or 19 allegedly, but it really turns out that she's trying to hide that she had been in love with him and had some creepy thing going on. He's been her like pottery instructor, I think. He teaches her how to do pottery from a young age. And she says, I loved pottery from a young age, and Marco is a ceramic artist in our small Italian town. I'd often run to his studio just to work on pottery alongside him. Spending time with him felt natural and inspiring. Realized my feelings were serious, and after many open conversations, we made a conscious mutual decision to be together, legally in our country, which means that she might have been like 13 or 14. What does legally in Italy mean? What? 14, dog. 14. 14. And he's 43 years her elder. Keep that in mind. By the time, this is the sad part that was the thing that broke her back, apparently. By the time COVID hit during the first massive outbreak in Italy, we were already into our romantic relationship. Tragically, my parents passed away due to the virus. We wish them well. Being their only child, that period was incredibly tough, and thankfully Marco stood by me. With no other close family around, moving in with Marco was the most natural choice. Some say it was even faith or divine protection. During my vulnerable years, I felt safe. I got married in 2022 in a quiet ceremony, just the two of us. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. You and I, 64-year-old guy, 21-year-old guy. Great. Yes, we face judgment and criticism. Many only focus on the age gap, right? So I read all this. It's crazy. I'm like sitting here like, bro, what the hell? He must have caught her, right? Let's hope they didn't delete here. This. How old were you guys when you first met each other? Long while back when I was about 9 or 10. I downvoted it, as you can tell. It's got -6. Because what? What? And she comments and responds back to some of these comments as well, where she starts like justifying how they felt in love in silence when she was like 9 or 10, and she could feel it, he could feel it, and they've talked about it now that that's what they were doing. And that, bro, just sickness, sick. And there's a bunch of people in here like, God bless your love. You guys are so beautiful. Your child, oh my God. Crazy. But yeah, that's the craziest thing that I've been dealing with in the last week. And that's all the top news that we're gonna go through this week here on Church with Bo. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for chilling with me. Hope you did some fun. Hope you had a good week. Hope you have a good week. Hope you keep it geek, keep it real. Enjoy yourselves. Love others. Be kind to yourself. And enjoy what you do, loved ones. Peace. Good night.